The following is protected under fair use. And actually, guys, I got nothing this week. I got no joke. Something happened in last night's episode that has been gnawing at me all day. And I need to just flat out put it out there. People noticed the beginning of it last week. I didn't truly pick up on it till today. And that was, what the hell's going on between Ignis and Yusaku's vacuum cleaner? Like, seriously, like, up till this point, my whole assumption was that Ignis is going to use the vacuum cleaner as his sidekick for whatever his goals are. And then we got the thing last week where he was showing off muscles and stuff, and I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was just meant to be goofy and all that. But then we had the scene between the two of them under Yusaku's bed doing something. I don't know what this something is. I don't know how they do it. That is between them and their god. Which I guess is like Steve Jobs. I don't really think about it too much. But seriously, what the hell? Like, what are you doing, Yu-Gi-Oh? We've waited 15 years for sexual tension in one of these. We'll get back to that. But this is how you do it. A robot and a computer program. I don't understand what's going on here. It confuses me. It scares me. It makes me want to go back to church and ask for my salvation. It's just oy. Anyways, on to the actual episode. So, this week, last week, I know this is a weird way to bring that up. People brought up to me in the comments section, I do read every comment, that they liked about last week that we got sort of this nice little intro into how Emma truly is. Up until now, we've seen her do her thing, like do work for Akira, but I felt like between this episode and last episode, we truly got this sense that she's just in it for money. She's in it because she just wants to live the high life, and this is how she does it. What separates last week from this week, though, is it wasn't the focus last week. It was just a thing that led to a boring recap. Here, though, her intelligence and her selfishness and her greed is completely on display. And more importantly, her hubris and even the way she sort of deals with people felt very different from how we've seen it before, even though it is, in a lot of ways, still kind of the same shtick. I'll explain. Basically, what I liked about this whole thing is that you just sort of see her work. There's no distracting from it. It's just Yusaku has one scene of him as just Yusaku, and the rest is just her. And it's interesting because I just like watching her work. I like watching her be intelligent, and I like her taking the different plot elements we have of this show and putting it through this unbiased, very outsider perspective. Hearing things like, what is a data storm? What was 10 years ago? Who is Playmaker? Hearing it from someone who has no invested interest and feels more like us, the viewer, just trying to decode this insanity, feels very sort of relatable and very much just puts it in a very welcomed perspective for me. And while we're on the subject, just the way she sort of handles herself and the way she acted is very good. Like, whenever she talks in her own inner monologue, you get the sense that she thinks she's the greatest person in the world, but you also get this sense that she's had to prove it a lot. She constantly has to be ahead of everyone else to get what she wants, and they show that very well. The way she plays everyone in it. Like, she just plays everything perfectly, and I love the way the actress voices her. Every time she talks, there's this weird, sort of flirtatious, kind of lustful, if that makes any sense, sort of sense to it. Even in her own inner monologue, you feel like she'd screw herself if she could. Like the scene where she talks to Akira, and she's basically saying, pay my price for this. Like, she doesn't care about what Revolver wants. She doesn't care about what Playmaker wants. She doesn't care about any of this, and it's kind of a welcomed sort of thing in a series that has a lot of scenes of people standing and reflecting on the importance of their actions, and it really is a lot of fun. But again, like, whenever she talks to Akira, you get this weird sense she's flirting with him, but just doing it to sort of take advantage of him. When she talks to Playmaker later, same thing. I love the growing mystery of how it's told from her perspective. Because again, it's just more sort of understandable, if that... I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but that's kind of how I saw it. Moving on to a couple other elements. I liked the whole thing with Akira. I would have liked it if Aoi was shown, but considering this was Emma's time to shine, it makes sense to sort of put everyone else on the back burner. I liked seeing that Akira's demotion could potentially help him as he's searching all the databases. One thing I thought was kind of dumb was the thing with the secretary. And do we really need another out-of-place comic relief in this thing? We have a frog and a pigeon, for Christ's sake. But I kind of like that scene, sort of showing how there's nothing on this incident. But I mean, come on, Akira, look at this girl. She barely looks out of high school. You think she was there 10 years ago? But whatever. The Yusaku bit was fine. If we're talking about Ignis for a minute, one thing I really did enjoy here, I brought this up when he got his body back. I was worried that the character's fluidity and mobility would leave, as a big part of what I think makes his character is how frantic he moves and stuff. But no, I think they actually did a really good job of keeping it in place here. Like every shot of him, when you look, he's in kind of this sort of funny but also practical pose, like when he's just standing off, like pushing himself out of Yusaku's dual disc, the way he moves his head, the way they position his eyes. So much care is put into how this character acts. It's almost kind of amazing. And again, even characters like Emma, this show is not afraid to put effort into the details, and being the opposite of how I brought up all negatives last week, that's something I really do like about the characters in this. There's so much detail added to everything. It really, I think, plays a big role. As for the duel itself, fine. Again, I'm still really waiting for that Vrains duel that really is just super cool card game action. This was cute. I like the bit where Ignis is doing that really annoying thing where he's like, oh, why would she do that? And Playmaker's like, it's part of a strategy, you idiot. Like, I hate it when they do that in these shows. Ask yourselves, when you're watching a live stream or duels at your locals, if someone does something random and weird, are you like, nope, they're idiots, they screwed up? Or you're like, ooh, we better see what the strategy. A guy literally at Worlds used duality while he had his own... Frick, why am I blanking on the card name? Not Spell Fragrance, the other one, the one that just negates effects. You get my point. But basically, he used that to have a Chi-Win mistiming. That is what happens when crazy things happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! So stop questioning it. No, but other than that, like, I really did enjoy this. I liked that it was more straightforward. It was just, this is this woman who only cares about money and will do whatever she takes to get what she wants, including using her own beauty and sexuality. And I like that. We don't get that a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! When was the last time you had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character who used a flirtatious nature like this? My Valentine, like 15 years ago? But tell me what you think. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, all that's fine. Tell me in the comments section below. TCG question of the week. Something interesting I saw. So, Subterrors are getting another OCG exclusive card. We don't know what it does yet, but it kind of had me wondering if the OCG is going to try and improve TCG archetypes, and we're even getting that booster set that is going to be all not anime archetypes that will give everything links. What sort of the TCG archetypes would you kind of want to see get some exclusive OCG support? Not including Beatrice, because I know that was OCG, but for the sake of this, if you want to say Burning Abyss, do it. Like BA, UA, Cosmo, Kaiju, Noble Knights. No one wants Noble Knight support. If you're that one guy, fine, but come on. Tell me that below. And one other thing. Next week, I thankfully finally have free time. And I kind of want to do some more videos, because I've only done like one video a week the past 3 weeks, and that kind of gets boring for me. I like being able to do different videos. Tell me in the comment section below if there's anything you'd like for me to talk about next week, whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, anime related. I actually want to do an anime review, but I can't decide what. So currently on the screen are the things I've been thinking about doing. Tell me below if any of these interest you, or anything you'd like for me to talk about. And as always, click the likes, click subscribe, and we'll see you next week.